But we started really sort of the radio TV department, which wasn't much of anything in that day. We had a little wired wireless fed down to the campus cafeteria in what is now the Arts and Science Hall. And we had an office that I had, a little studio next to it in the control area, and another classroom. That was our broadcast area. But ultimately one day Al Paul was looking at the plans for this building that we're sitting in. And in the room we're sitting in was an open area under this large classroom up above us here where they can seat 300. And he said, why don't we put it there? And they did. And we have the place that's been used for thousands of programs and so on since, and it's been a pretty good setup over the years.